you look kind of comfortable. You still want to sit.
Thank you, I'm very comfortable standing.
Is that okay? If you get tired, say so.
Will do.
Thanks.
Before I continue with evidence, we have just one or two aspects, maybe from the evidence before the luncheon. First of all, you recall the evidence of Mrs. Otto.
I do.
Testified.
Yes.
And she testified that she heard what she described as, I'm paraphrasing in English, angry male voices emanating from Wild Brussels, the direction of Wild Brussels.
I recall that evidence, but there was no such argument that night.
Then, when at the time when you disarmed the attacker, he came back into the room again. Can you recall at that stage whether you had a view of your brother on the bed?
I did, yes. As I pushed the guy away, obviously Rudy was flailing on the bed and making. Sorry. Rudy was moving around on the bed. I would say flailing motions. He was also making a gurgling sound.
So I can ask you, you referred to lordship after you returned, you attacked it out of the back, assumed out of the back door, coming back up the stairs. You referred to hearing gurgling sounds, and you said, as I heard before. What do you refer to?
That hearing and seeing Rudy on the bed there. So.
Then you would also recall that we have already referred to part of it, the record of the activities on your mobile phone, on the landline, and the report was telephone.
Yes.
That was handed in as exhibit you. You had this argument.
Yes.
You dispute the contents of the indication that you made attempted calls to Bianca and WhatsApp messages and so on.
No, I don't dispute that.
You accept that's correct?
Yes.
Right, you were busy telling us that before the lunch in Germany that Colonel Bennett came in and said he called himself a Kirk and introduced himself and said words to the effect that I don't believe the word of your version story. Did you then thereafter tell him what your version was?
Yes. On numerous occasions and with being asked various questions along the way.
You said on numerous occasions, how did that happen?
He would invite another police officer into the room and say, this guy needs to hear your story as well, and then so I'd have to start from the beginning and tell the newly present officer my side of the story again.
Did you ask Colonel Bienica about your family?
I did. I inquired several times about my family, and he said he couldn't tell me anything. Although at a different point he did also say that Morley was awake and she was telling them what happened, and he asked me to confirm if what she saw would be the same thing that I saw, and I said yes.
No. Yes, so what happened next?
After must have been in Bianca's office for more than an hour. Can't specifically recall how long, but I told my story numerous times. Then near the end of that session, he invited another officer in, who I later learned was Sergeant Milan, and he instructed me to tell Milan my story again.
And did he then continue to tell you story again in the presence of Sergeant Milan?
Yes, Sergeant Milan, this in Colonel Bianca's office still, with Colonel Bianca and a couple other of the officers still there. So, Colonel Bianca was still in the room then. He then instructed Milan to write down what I was saying, which he did, and he then instructed Milan to go and type my statement up, and he told me that I may leave as soon as I've signed it.
Now we heard the evidence of Sergeant Milan that he then proceeded to type out your statement, which is now been handed up to Mark as Exhibit SS.
Yes. So
During the course of him typing up Exhibit SS, did he ask you any question, Sergeant Milan?
specific to the statement, no. He sat in his office with me, and he was busy typing it up. When he finished typing it up, he said that I should have a read through, see if I'm happy with it. So I scanned through it on the computer and said, yeah, you can print it, I'll sign it.
Do you have that insight in your statement, Exhibit SS? It's common cause that it contains a number of typographic errors, spelling errors, and also grammatical errors.
Correct.
And you also no doubt recall that Sergeant Milan testified that the statement, Exhibit SS, is a verbatim version of what you told him. What do you say about that?
That's not true, my lord.
Now, Mr. Monroe, at the time that you were sitting waiting for Sergeant Milan to type up your statement, Exhibit SS, you gave me an opportunity to read through that. When last you had any sleep prior to that?
Sleep would been the Sunday night.
And apart from the bottle of Coke that one of the officers brought you, do you have anything to eat by that?
No, not up to that point. In fact, when I said that Milan can print out my statement, he went to go print it, and he returned with a plastic bag which contained a drink and a sandwich for me, and a shirt, some board shorts, and some flip-flops. But
Do you know who brought that to the police station?
yes, I later found out that Bianca's mother had actually brought this to the police station a couple of hours earlier.
No.
From memory, she said she brought it to the police station at 2 o'clock.
Dobby knows as a fact that Exhibit SS, the one from compares it with the explanation of Exhibit J, does contain a number of minor discrepancies.
Correct.
You're aware of that?
Yes.
In as much as Exhibit SS, the findings that are not accorded with what you testified about in court, were you aware of that at the time? That Exhibit SS contained information that was incorrect?
Yeah, it was fairly obvious looking at it that it wasn't entirely correct.
For example, Exhibit SS only refers to one attack, correct?
Correct.
Did you mention to Colonel Bennett that there were more than one attack?
Definitely.
Can you explain to His Lordship why you did not point this out to Sergeant Malan and ask him to rectify it before the sign?
I'd been told that I can leave as soon as I've signed this document. I'd been retelling the story of a very traumatizing experience several times. At that point, I didn't feel like doing it again. I also had no idea that my statement would be used in the way it has been used. It's, if I was aware that it would become a legal document, I wouldn't have signed it without consulting legal representation first. In fact, when I was at first felt rather uncomfortable when Colonel Bienica told me that I need to sign this document before I leave, and so I said to him, shouldn't I have a lawyer for this? And he said to me, why? Are you guilty? And I didn't follow up after that.
It's common cause that you ended up signing Exhibit SS, is that correct?
I did.
Were you then allowed to leave the police station?
Yes. Ron Reed John, Morley's then boyfriend's father, and James Reed John and Alex Bossoff were all waiting for me outside the police station. They picked me up and took me to the Reed Johns.
Where did they stay at the time?
Staying in Somerset West.
Somerset West. When you arrived at the home in Somerset West, do you recall whether your uncle, Andre de Toy, and his wife were there?
Yes, they were. Andre and Sonia were there.
How would you describe the meeting when you saw them?
It was very emotional. I think I was very much struggling to come to terms with what had happened, and seeing my uncle and aunt and knowing what it meant that they were there, knowing that they're my godparents. That was very emotional.
Now, we also had the evidence of Dr. Van Sale, who testified that she saw you in fact in the clinic, and she then stabled the stabber on the left side.
That's correct.
How did it come about that you went through to the fact that you met?
My aunt Sonia had a look at the stab wound, and she said that she thinks that it needs stitches. I think they left shortly after that, and Ron took me to Vergelegen Mediclinic.
Ronnie, James John's father.
Ron Reed John, correct.
Before you went through to Vergelegen Medical, did you have any alcoholic drink?
Yes, they gave me a beer while I was sitting there. I was sitting by the table outside, and I think I was still rather in shock. My hands were shaking. I think they gave me it to calm me down.
Now, you then, after you received medical attention at Vergelegen, you then returned to the house of the Johns.
Yes,
And again, it's common cause that the later stage police then arrived there at the house.
correct.
You were then taken back to Vergelegen, is that correct?
That's correct.
Can you recall who the police officers were taken to?
I could only recall Sergeant Adams. I recall meeting Sergeant Adams at the front of the house. I believe there was testimony about.
Dr. Marcel made mention that Colonel Bielik was also present. Can you
Yes,
recall that?
I can't recall seeing Colonel Beneker on that night.
And the police officers.
Hmm.
And that was for the presence of drugs and alcohol.
Correct. Yes, he gave me a sleeping pill to get to sleep.
Describe your mood in Exhibit 00 and during your first visit as confident, not emotional, conversing, casually and relaxed with staff. And as you testified, of course, you referred to your mood as almost jovial.
I would have to disagree with that description.
And you also made mention of the fact that the second time you were there with police officers, you described your mood as different. In that sense, you were quiet.
I remember the testimony. That makes sense. Don't dispute that.
Now, Exhibit 1, examining the acts. Prior to the act featuring in this case, have you ever seen the acts around in your house?
No, my lord, not at all.
Evidence was presented, so one of the domestic workers who testified that she and Paul seen similar acts in the house. Do you disagree with that?
I wouldn't dispute it, no.
And when Mr. James Reed John testified, you recall his evidence?
I do.
You recall that he said that he did not recognize Exhibit 1. He remembered the acts with described the metal area as black. You ever see such an axe in the house?
No.
Did you kill your father with axe?
No. No,
Your mother was raped.
no,
You attacked your sister with that.
no,
And did you attempt to change the crime scene at any stage by intending to throw the axe instead of hitting it against the wall on the top middle landing of the stairs?
no, my lord.
Did you have any reason to attack your family?
No, none whatsoever.
Your Worship, where you coming from? We received the evidence from, based on the evidence of Colonel Otto, there is not in dispute that a mixture of found in the corner of the shower floor, where you, or the ensuite bathroom, was you and Henry utilized. Is that correct?
I recall the evidence, yes.
Do you have any explanation as how you, if it was blood, was there real blood that could have ended up there?
We occasionally shave in the shower.
Did you attempt to wash away any blood from your hands or your body at any time in the course of that morning of the 27th?
No, my lord.
Yeah. Now, Mr. Commodore, it's no secret that this case, this matter has received a lot of media attention, amongst others, social media. And I've asked you this morning as well, why did you not come prepared with dad and your mom and your brother?
Yeah, this is the,
So,
this is the question.
sorry, I'm repeating.
Can I just speak to you?
I've put it to the witnesses. It's no secret that the case has received a lot of widespread media attention, also media attention in social media, as the introduction to the press conference. I've also recall I asked you this morning why you not come to the aid of Chris Rudy and then your father, and now your mother was also attacked, and you also know that mother was attacked.
Yes.
Would you like to try and explain?
I wish I could. I wish I did, but I was too scared.
You know,
I was too scared.
Have you received any professional counseling since the incident?
Yes, yes. I regularly see a therapist, and yeah, started immediately after the incident.
Do you still see a therapist?
I do, yes.
Thank you. Other questions?
thank you, Mr. Board. Ms. Governor, myself.
Thank you, Lord. Mr. Commodore, just to make sure, ever since you started testifying this morning, except for reminding me that you need to speak up and speak slower so that we can write down, you haven't studied.
That's probably correct.
No, respect, that's not true. A number of occasions that the television coverage was up. You get started.
Let me answer the question.
Well, it's very well written by my friend. You can't put a statement that's factually correct with this and allow not to object.
I didn't notice any stuttering, Lord. I was about to.
Let's be wrong, both of us are not. Let's look at this answer.
You answered the question before the interruption from council, Mr. Van der Walt?
Yes. I cannot specifically recall having stuttered today, but
You can
Stand closer.
well, look, I
And
cannot.
speak louder so I can hear you. Thanks. Sorry about that.
I cannot specifically recall having stuttered, other than that particular moment right there. So I don't think you might have picked up on it if I did stutter. But I've been focusing very hard on not stuttering. We would have noticed the amount that I was sweating when I started here. When I was in school, every oral presentation I gave, I would end up drenched in sweat. So I was having difficulty with my stutter today.
I will agree that you did make use of the word or the interjection at several occasions, but I certainly did not pick up any stuttering. Now, please understand any question that I ask you. If you don't understand the question, I tend to ask a bit too long questions. Please point that out to me so that I quickly repeat the question or break it down. What you told the court today in your evidence, Mr. Van der Walt, would I be correct to say that it is in essence, not the detail, the line of the story, the line of your evidence, is the same as what you told the police on the morning of the 27th of January 2015?
Correct.
And it is also similar in nature with regards to or reference to your plea explanation, Exhibit J.
Correct.
And the totality of your version is indeed, one cannot even say an exculpatory version, because that would imply there was evidence against you that you needed to explain. It is merely a witness statement of a person who is not only a victim to a certain incident, but also saw and was a witness to other incidents that happened at the same time. Understand what I'm saying? It's in Brown.
Yes.
So,
Are you referring to today's evidence or the statement? Sorry, I'm just a bit confused by the question. Could you repeat the question, please?
Please repeat it.
and you want to don't need to look at me. I won't see it as an insult. Please look at the court so they can hear you. Okay. So, I put to you that the version that you told the police on the 27th of January 2015, what you also stated in your plea explanation, Exhibit J before the court, and what you testified to today, is not even what one could describe as an exculpatory version, because in my opinion, that would imply there's something that you needed to explain, some evidence incriminating the immediate crime. The totality of your version is that you were a victim to a serious violent crime and or a witness to serious violent crimes.
Correct.
For instance, Mr. Van der Walt, my question to you is, why were you then not the first witness to testify in the defense's case?
I was given advice by my advocate, Peter Breda, to not testify. But I've always wanted to have my say, and recently when we, near the end of our case, I decided that I will be testifying.
Can you please confirm the court whether you are right or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Right. During the night of 26 to 27 January, the evening of 26 January, the night, the early hours of the morning of, I'm sorry, I'm going too far. During the evening of the 26th of January, were there any other people at your house other than you and the other members of your family?
By way of visitors to the house?
Visitors?
No. Not that night. No.
Up until the time that you went to bed, in the sense that you actually now put down your laptop and you put on your earphones to listen to your music, Has anyone unexpectedly arrived at your house? Visitors or family or anyone?
No.
Would it be correct, Mr. Van der Gaar, to say that you are the only person alive today who can still remember what happened after you went to the bathroom on the night of what must be the early hours of the morning of 27 January 2020?
No, I would have to disagree with that.
Sorry? Didn't you answer?
Only person alive and can remember.
And can
Yeah.
remember.
Oh, well, I have no idea what the attacker's memory is like, so
But as far as today in court is concerned, your legal team doesn't know what happened there other than what you told them.
they weren't there either. Yes.
So what they put to state witnesses is based on either what you told them or what the expert witnesses gave their opinions on. Would that be okay?
Yes.
Because as it happens in law, before the commencement of this trial, you did give your legal team instructions on what is your version of the events.
Yes.
Were you given a copy of the police docket before the trial started?
Yes, I was.
That is not your legal team, you personally.
Oh, well, no, not. I personally wasn't given one, but my legal team was in possession of the docket and I had access to it, and that's it.
You had, excuse me, I couldn't hear you had access to it.
My legal team had access to it, and therefore I had access to it.
I note that in your pre-explanation, specifically paragraph 35 of Exhibit J, and you testified similarly this morning in chief, you refer specifically to the fact that Marley's feet were not in the same place as they are on Kleinhans's photographs. That would be in reference to Exhibit B before the court. Is it correct to infer that you therefore, during preparation of this matter, had access to the photographs in the document?
I have had access to the photographs, yes.
At times during the evidence of the state witnesses, you had papers or documents in your possession. At one stage, you were also in possession of a copy of the photo album, Exhibit
Yes.
A.
Yes.
The whole bundle, Exhibit A to I, all the photographs that were handed in initially when the plea proceedings were underway.
Throughout the case, the legal team have been giving me access to all the documents that have been made available to the court.
So, just for record purposes, Mr. Van der Laar, then it appears that you didn't have a problem with looking at the photographs during the course of the trial. The photographs of the scene.
I wouldn't quite agree to that. I looked at the photos. I didn't enjoy it. I don't think it's fair to say that there was no problem. I mean, I think my Lord will remember, we made every effort to minimize my exposure to those photos.
Just for record purposes, that was during the course of the trial, Mr. van der Walt. You also testified that prior to the trial you had access to the documents, including the photographs.
I did, yes.
Would it be correct to say, Mr. van der Walt, that the Zalsa estate is a rather more affluent estate?
Yes, I agree with that.
And from our little bit of experience with the estate,
Sorry, we disagree with you, Mr. Lord.
That-
All the estate is more.
a more affluent estate.
Affluent, yeah, I see.
And from our little bit of experience with the estate, Mr. van der Walt, it appears that there are a number of rules that has to be followed when one is a resident of the estate.
Well, the estate has its homeowners' rules, yes, I assume so.
And from the evidence of the security officers who testified, Mr. Africa and Mr. Reinhardt, it appears that one of the issues that was regularly complained about is dogs barking unnecessarily.
Okay.
Do you have any experience of that or not?
Yeah, I remember dogs barking every now and then in the estate. The houses are quite close together.
And as I understand the evidence of Ms. Precious Mnyongani, your family had actually had 2 domestic workers.
Correct.
Ms. Mnyongani testified.
Correct?
She worked on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays.
Correct.
And then there was Ms. Clara Zelisha, if I pronounce her surname correctly, who worked on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays.
And Thursday, Saturdays, yes.
Now, Ms. Mnyongani testified that your dog Sasha, which you referred to earlier, that Sasha would bark when she arrived at the house in the morning. You agree with that?
Yeah, Sasha would, as soon as the doorbell rings, when the phone rings, and when she could hear the metal from the gate, from the side gate, and she would bark at that, yes.
She also testified that when she arrived at the house, the door would already have been opened for Sasha. Would that be correct, or would it simply mean that Sasha had passed through the doggy door?
Yeah, we wouldn't have to, after we got the doggy door installed, we didn't have to open for Sasha, so to speak. We slept with the doors open as well, so if she was sleeping in the red room, she'd be able to go downstairs as well.
I just picked up on something that you said after you had the doggy door installed, so the doggy door wasn't there when you moved into the house, it was installed subsequently.
From memory, it was installed before I arrived there, but they didn't have a doggy door installed when they bought the house. But I can't specifically recall.
I was made to understand that Sasha was in actual fact Marli's dog, if one has to assign
Technically,
possession of
yes,
the dog.
yes.
But she was very attached to yourself and your father.
She was attached to everyone. She grew up. We were in a dead end street in Australia, and when we got this new puppy, all the neighbours' kids would always come play with her every afternoon. So she's always been a very loving dog to every person that she meets.
And if I look through the photo album of the house of Exhibit A, specifically when I note in photograph 47, there is what appears to be, or was, what appears to be I don't know what the term is, a doggy bed or mattress in the lounge dining room area.
Correct.
Photo 95 in your father's study, also what is described as a doggy bed or mattress.
Yes, correct.
Photograph 165, there's a similar, or no, sorry, there is also a doggy bed or mattress in Marie's room. What?
Can't recall the specific photo, but I don't dispute that.
Sorry?
I don't dispute that.
And then also in photograph 205, in between your and Rudy's beds.
Yes. Correct.
So would it be correct to say that Sasha was very much what I would describe as a house dog?
Yes.
She lived
Yes.
in the house.
Yes.
You testified earlier this morning, Chief Mr. Van Breda, that Sasha was quite sickly at the time of the incident in January 2015.
Yeah. Shortly after her... Sorry, explain.
No?
Shortly after we brought Sasha from Australia, she suffered a stroke-like event. That's how the vets put it. So once a month she'd have to have, for about a week, regular injections, and during that time she had absolutely no sense of balance. Like, she would just fall off your lap from just sitting on your lap, and she wasn't able to go up and down the stairs by herself, so we'd have to carry her up and down the stairs.
That was shortly after we returned from Australia. That would have been in January 2014.
Yeah, so shortly after, I think it was just after moving to Desalza that she had this stroke-like event, but she was on this medication for 1 week out of the month up until she passed away.
But it wasn't a question of that she could no longer bark.
She wouldn't really bark during that time. She was completely deaf as well. She wouldn't really be able to hear what we're saying. No, she was very disabled whilst on the medication.
Is that for the 1 week a month that she was on medication, or was that in general?
That's for the 1 week a month that she's on medication.
Was she, except that she had to be carried up the stairs, was she able to walk otherwise in the house, in and out of the house, as long as she didn't have to
Yes, yes. She'd be able to walk around, but if jumping up onto a chair, she might fall and stuff, so she would just take it easy.
And seeing as she testified that you didn't need to let her take her outside when she wanted to leave herself, because she used the doggy door. She wasn't that immobile that she couldn't get around at all.
No, it was just, it wasn't that she couldn't get up the stairs, I suppose, but we'd seen her falling down the stairs and almost falling on the way up the stairs, so we...
So you were rather safe and sorry?
Yes.
Okay. And this Sunday, Monday of the week, 26, 27 January, was that the 1 week of the month that she was on medication?
I'm not sure. We did try to confirm, because there was a calendar up on somewhere in the house, I think on the fridge, but from the photos we couldn't make out, so I can't confirm.
From your evidence earlier today, Mr. Van Breda, when you testified that you as a family were very close-knit.
Yes.
And you did a lot of outdoor activities together.
Yes.
And the court even asked you about playing Scrabble. You said you and your mother played Scrabble.
Yeah.
The only reason I asked that is I saw Scrabble.
Indeed, Lord. There were similar other board games in and around the house from what I could see in the photographs.
Yeah. Board games were fairly common occurrence, especially during the summer holidays.
And was that also an activity that you as a family enjoyed together?
Yeah. I mean, every family has one person that doesn't want to play Monopoly, but yes, we all participated together.
And you referred to the evidence of your uncle, Andre van Breda, who testified that, similar to you, your opinion of the family, you were a very close-knit family. So I also want to ask you that you also testified and said your father was a very private man, if I'm not mistaken. Do you agree with that?
Well, it's hard to say what he was like with his friends. He was not a private man when it came to how he was with the rest of the family.
Your uncle, Andre van der Daal, also testified and said as far as he was aware, he didn't know anybody who had a grudge against your family.
Neither do I.
Given the photographs and your evidence earlier in chief, Mr. van der Daal, it appears that the whole family, after the incident, were in actual fact still clothed in their what is called sleepwear.
Correct.
And when one has regards to the beds in all three of the bedrooms, excluding your bed, and excuse me, then I must amend my statement. When one has regards to the beds in your parents' room and mother's room, it appears as if somebody had been in bed and gotten up from bed. Do you agree with that?
I don't dispute that.
The fact that one can see on the side tables of the beds, one can see there are cell phones, glasses, wristwatch, watches. That would also be in line with your evidence that everyone had gone to bed prior to the incident.
Yes.
When the incident occurred, Mr. van der Daal, would it be correct to say that, especially with reference to your mother and your sister, that they felt comfortable enough with what was happening in the house to really get out of bed and walk towards it without grabbing the gown on the way out?
I don't think I can really comment on that.
You can't really comment on it.
No.
Why, don't you agree?
Okay.
Answer the question you watch about what the mother and sister would have thought would not.
If
Of course, speculation at best.
Look, I can argue that it's normal human behavior, but I won't get at that.
Well,
As I said, that you can't.
No, but this wants to say something.
sure. If I were to speculate, no, I wouldn't have expected them
I
to.
can't hear you.
To answer your question, no, I would not have expected them to put a gown on. It was the middle of summer.
In the middle of summer, is that your last one?
Summer,
In the middle of summer.
yes.
So it wasn't then uncommon for your mother and your sister to walk around in little spaghetti tops and female panties in the house in the middle of summer. That's what you're saying?
That's not uncommon, no.
Not uncommon.
Yes. I'm saying that in our family that happened all the time. If one of us were ashamed to get changed in front of the other, it would have been weird.
Even with strange people in the house, that's still not uncommon.
It would be uncommon with strange people in the house. my lord.
When we have regard to the security of the estate, Mr. van der Daal, we've heard the evidence of Mr. Fine of the Walk, who testified in the state's case, that she felt very safe in the estate, and that is also one of the reasons why she rented the house in the estate. And then there was also the evidence of Mr. Talliard, who testified in the defense case, who said that she felt, well, by inference, she felt so safe in the estate that she left the school-going children to sleep in the house while she went swimming in the sandals.
Yes. We felt safe enough to never lock the back door.
Indeed. So you confirm you didn't feel insecure or unsafe or threatened whilst living in the estate?
No.
Because if one has regard to not just the back door that wasn't locked, when one looks at the photographs in Exhibit A, the windows on the ground floor were all left open.
Yes.
And there is no burglar bars,
No, further security.
no security gates at any of the doors that were open.
No.
And the keys to the side gate, as well as other doors, for instance, I remember the one opening onto the patio at the swimming pool, the keys were in the lock with a little piece of string attached to the key, from the key to the door handle.
Same for the front and back doors. The front door definitely, just a little bit of rope to keep the key attached to the door.
There was, during the investigation of the case, there was an investigation into old matters registered at results since 2002. Were you given an opportunity to go through that list, Mr. Constable?
I didn't. I'm sure I could have if I wanted to, but
According to the police, they retrieved that information in an attempt to try and find similar modus operandi in other matters reported in the estate.
what was that? Modus?
The way of executing a crime. How
Okay.
it was done. Okay? Were you aware of the fact, as it was put in cross-examination to Ms. Marsha Rousseau, that only about 20% of those cases were ever resolved?
No, I was not aware of those.
Were
Sorry,
you-
just with respect, do you mean, am I aware of it now?
Well,
After hearing Marsha's evidence,
yeah.
then I
After the
became,
evidence, that was when you became aware of the fact.
yes, now I'm aware of the fact.
Prior to Marsha's evidence, Ms. Rousseau, were you aware of the fact that only 10 cases were reported after February 2014 when she took over the security management of the estate?
I had no knowledge of any prior criminal activity in Disaster.
Were you aware of the fact, again, still prior to Marsha's first evidence, were you aware of the fact that when she took over in February 2014 that quite a number of changes were necessary to the security of the estate?
I was not aware of that.
Again, similarly, were you aware of the fact before Marshal so testified that there was a fence upgrade that was signed off in September 2014?
No.
When one considers, Mr. Van der Daal, the matters reported, the 190 or 191 cases reported since 2003 at the Zalsa, it is easy to understand that some sort of crime might have been committed, because in each and every case something was reported missing. Although in most instances they didn't find or catch the intruder or intruders, whoever they might be, there was always something missing. That was the reason why the docket was registered.
Accept that?
In your case, there doesn't appear to be anything missing.
Correct.
Yet you say there were intruders in the house.
Correct.
from your answer to my question of there doesn't appear to be anything missing, you understand correctly that there was indeed nothing taken after the incident?
As far as I'm aware, there was nothing taken.
That was what your uncle, Mr. Andre van der Daal, also testified. So it's not that he missed something, you are also not aware. I'm not saying because of something you aren't aware of was stolen, but as far as you're aware, nothing was stolen.
Yes.
What is your comment, Mr. van der Daal, to the evidence of Marsha Rousseau that the security system of the Zalsa, speaking solely now about the electronic system, that it was working correctly and that no real alarms were activated during that particular evening or night?
I don't have any information to counter that. So.
And what is your comment, if you want to comment, on the evidence of Mr. Lorenzo Africa, who was one of the security officers on duty during that night? His task or role was to control the perimeter fence, and then he said he performed his duties and that he noticed nothing suspicious during the whole evening whilst on his rounds. Any comment on that?
Can't comment specifically about his. I can't comment specifically about his evening's activities. No.
I'm asking you the fact that he said he noticed nothing suspicious.
I don't dispute that. I also was rather my commentary on security would be that I was rather surprised to find out that there's only 2 security officers on duty at night. I think most of the people in the estate are convinced that it's a team.
And what is your comment, if you want to comment, Mr. van der Daal, on the evidence of Mr. Edgar Wyngaard that he did rounds inside the estate several occasions, also the so-called bloodhound round, and that you also noticed nothing suspicious or untoward?
I don't dispute that either.
See, Mr. van der Daal, it's difficult then to understand how you don't dispute the security system operations of that night, and you don't dispute the 2 officers who were on duty on the estate, not noticing anything suspicious, yet it is your version that persons unknown must have somehow entered the estate without being noticed?
Yes, they did.
They did. That is your comment on that?
Yes.
Do you know how they did?
No.
Just for sake of completeness and also Mr. van der Daal, Ms. Marsha Rousseau as well as Edgar Wyngaard testified that upon becoming aware of the incident that happened in the estate that night, they watched the security video recordings that were available and they noticed nothing suspicious or untoward.
I don't dispute that either.
It's still your version that somehow somebody got into it, more than somebody got into the estate.
Correct.
You've mentioned, I think at least twice during the course of your evidence in chief, Mr. van der Daal, that the houses are rather close to one another on the estate.
Correct.
And let's be fair, so that I don't put something to you that is not correct. That is not the totality of the estate that is filled up with houses. Little blocks of filled up houses.
Yes.
And where the houses are in little blocks, they tend to be close to one another.
Yes.
What is your comment, if you want to comment on that Sergeant Quirifan testified and said despite spraying the wall several times over several days, he found no marks of anybody having climbed in or out of your specific property?
Because the street that statement, the tele, Sergeant Quirifan especially testified and said that somebody who loves would not expect to find the marks.
Getting to that, maybe it was just going to be
But you can't kill a piece that's improper cross-examination.
I don't think it's improper cross-examination, they couldn't think it's improper.
answer, please. Mr. Van der Daal, I will get to it again, Lord. I will put it to witness during another time. Given that the houses are rather close to one another, Mr. Van der Daal, what is your comment, if you want to comment, on the testimony of Mrs. Paulja, who testified in the defense case, that amongst other things, she did not hear anybody running away in the estate during the course of that time?
And dispute that.
So they can't
I don't dispute that. I don't.
That is her testimony.
Okay.
Well, the question is not that you could you what the judge says.
Just say my comment.
What you comment?
If I want to comment, I'd rather not comment.
You rather not comment.
Yeah, I don't think I'm informed to comment.
Sorry, you don't think you what?
This is what you want to say, Mr. Van der Daal. What did you want to say?
I haven't actually spoken to her, and I have no idea what she did or not hear, but I was in court when she said that she didn't hear anything, and I don't dispute that. I'm not sure what else you want me to comment on.
You see, it's difficult to marry what she says, she didn't hear anybody running away, from having to infer from your version that
I
at
didn't.
least two people ought to have run away at some stage.
Yes, I didn't hear them running away either, Lord.
Given that it is your version, Mr. Van der Daal, that somehow somebody got onto, not just somebody, more than one person got onto the estate. I'm going to put to you that what you are inferring or asking the court to follow or believe is that some of these people, and it is more than one according to you, they got onto the estate without tripping the barbed wires or alerting security by getting over the fence. Or presumably they brought something with them to cover up the fence, so it's not just the fence. They are then, by some way, successful in getting over or under or through the fence. Which would imply that they go to a lot of trouble to get onto the estate. Would you agree?
So that would be a fair assessment, probably.
I agree.
So that's a fair assessment.
And then they managed to move from the perimeter fence to where your house is located, more or less in the middle of the estate. You agree? The location of your house?
The location of my house is in the central area of the estate.
So now after they've managed to get onto the estate, they also managed to move from the perimeter fence to your house undetected.
Presumably, yes.
Then they managed to pick a house in the estate where the back door is left open, which would give them easy access to the house. And then everything changes. They don't proceed to remove valuable property which is clearly within eyesight. One person moves upstairs and attacks the family.
That's what happened.
Is that what happened? Is that the answer?
That's what I saw.
And then, further from that, they then flee the property or exit the property, your house. Nobody hears anything, not even you. They again manage to proceed from the house.
He said that he didn't hear somebody flee. He said he saw the people running in the so back door.
He did.
And clearly that's where they were out.
It did.
Is that evidence about it?
Lord, the witness said he also did not hear anybody running away.
Carry on.
The people then managed to proceed again back from your house to the perimeter fence without being noticed. And they again managed to get out of or over or under or through the electrical fence without it being triggered.
If they came through the fence, then yes. If they came through the fence, then yes.
So, how do you say they breached the security of the estate?
I can't say, but from the evidence we've heard, I guess we know that it could have been either the gate or the fact that people lend out their keys, to lend out their keys to the security gate.
Carry on.
So, are you implying, Mr. Van der Daar, that somebody who was given the key to the estate by somebody residing on the estate might have used that to get onto the estate to commit this crime?
I think it's a reasonable possibility that someone might have had access to a key card and gained access to the estate in that way, yes.
You mean somebody had access to a residence key card?
And you describe that as a reasonable possibility.
I would, yes.
Do you understand the difference between a possibility and a reasonable possibility?
Reasonably.
The possibility is like anything is possible. As wide as you can think. A reasonable possibility is within what is available. It must be reasonable. It must fit with what evidence and what facts are available.
Yes. I think it's a reasonable possibility when compared to someone jumping the fence.
Well, that's theoretical. But if somebody gave a card to the intruder, either the card was stolen or somebody gave it consciously to the person. One of two options.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
If the card was stolen, then this is a highly unlikely sequence of events that follows. Because if fortuitously comes across the card, breaks into the security estate and attacks your family. On the other hand, if somebody willingly gives the card, security guard, to the person, to the intruder, that means somebody has malice against your family, especially the family that was killed.
If that
If
in your scenario the person knows what purpose they're giving the key card for.
we've heard evidence throughout that your family had no real enemies.
No, this is correct.
So the story of the card seems like a bit of an unlikely scenario.
I suppose.
Sorry?
I suppose so, yes.
I'm going to move over to a new point at this point in time. I see it's almost
Yes, that's fine.